So most designers are using Claude Code at the surface level. They ask it to write some copy, maybe generate a basic looking UI, write some pretty sloppy code, and then they move on. But that's barely scratching the surface of what this tool can actually do. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 workflows that take you way deeper into agentic AI's full capabilities, where Claude isn't just answering questions, it's doing real design work alongside you. And these work whether you're a UX designer, UI designer, product designer, honestly any kind of designer that wants to move faster and build better. So if you've been following this channel, you know I made a video on my Claude Code workflow. And this was where I went deep on building a complex dashboard that had real functionality. But there's more to Claude Code than just high-level app building. So this is the follow-up. I'm going to show you Claude Code from a higher level by showing you 5 different design workflows to round out your AI design toolkit. Starting with the one that changed how I work from the very beginning of any real-world design project. Claude Code for UX design, specifically research, discovery, and planning. Here's the thing about real-world UX work. It doesn't start with jumping into UI design and code generation. It starts with thinking, structuring, and planning. And those are a few of the areas that Claude Code can also excel at as your design partner. Note that this workflow is most applicable if you're working on a real UX project that has actual research for Claude to work with. Let's take a basic example. Let's say I'm not satisfied with any of the popular free invoice generators online, and I want to build my own invoice generator targeted toward busy freelancers. But before I start prompting, I want to show you the setup that makes everything else work better, because this is the thing most people skip. Let's start by creating a new directory or folder for this project, just so that Claude doesn't waste its time and tokens trying to read files across my entire computer to get context. So now we're in our new directory, and I'm gonna have Claude generate a claude.md file for us. It's just a markdown file that lives in your project directory. You create it once, and Claude Code reads it automatically at the start of every session. Now there's a couple different ways to create this file, but I do it just by prompting Claude. So I'll say, let's create our claude.md file. And this file is going to be something that gets updated frequently, but to start off, I'm going to give it 4 different things. I'm going to tell it the product context. It's a web app that helps freelancers generate, send, and track invoices without needing accounting software. Then let's tell it what our type of user is. In this case, it's independent freelancers, possibly non-technical, juggling client work and admin work at the same time. Now let's tell it about the constraints of this project. I'm going to say it's a web app only for now. Needs to be WCAG compliant so that it's accessible, consider data privacy, and for now we're not going to implement any AI capabilities into our app. Now lastly, for our research goal, since this workflow is partly about taking research we have and synthesizing it, I'm going to say synthesizing data to create personas, user stories, and actionable insights. Now I'm going to hit prompt to start making this claude.md file, and now every time I open a Claude Code session in this project, it's going to read that brief first. You're not re-explaining context every single time, you're not getting generic answers that have nothing to do with your actual product. Claude is already oriented before you type your first prompt. Think of it as onboarding your collaborator before the work starts. So this is what my Claude MD file looks like. But if you already have a design project going and you have materials in your project directory like interview notes, design specs, or otherwise, you should use the / command init to have Claude automatically generate this claude.md file for you. Even then, you can still prompt it with anything specific you want included in that file. So at this point in my directory, I have that claude.md file, and I've also dropped in a bunch of the research materials that I have so far, a competitive analysis document, some design inspiration, some survey results, and notes from some user interviews. So like I said, this workflow is very targeted toward real UX design projects that actually have this user-centered research going into it before you jump into all the AI generation. So now with that directory set up, I can use this prompt. Turn my research into an in-depth summary, create some user personas, and a user journey map for the core invoicing flow. And then what I get back is going to guide the rest of this design project from the UI design phase all the way to a working app. It's really going to keep us on track to make sure we're designing an app that's actually user-centered and solving a real problem. So now it says it's synthesized our user research and given us a research summary, given us 4 user personas, and laid out a user journey map, all of which I can find in this super in-depth MD file in our directory. And this is all based off of the research that I gave Claude in the first place. And if you don't want a summary this long, I mean, this is a ton of lines. You can tell Claude to be more concise, but if you want to be really thorough and give you some really in-depth insights, then you would want something like this. So I can also prompt it to write a PRD, or a product requirement document, which is what I most commonly reference when working on a professional design project. It should include a problem statement, goals and success metrics, target personas, detailed functional requirements, and any other sections you want in your PRD. And Claude can generate one for you, whether you're a designer, PM, or developer, all based on the context it has thus far. So now the next workflow I want to show you is for UI design. Now keep in mind that I'm going to have this workflow be more of a continuation of the work that we've done on our user research, but I'm defining these as separate workflows because you don't have to use Claude Code for the end-to-end design process. You could just use it for those initial user research phases, just UI design, just design system generation. It's really whatever you feel comfortable with. Just putting that out there to explain why I'm breaking each of these up as different workflows. So without further ado, let's dive into the UI design workflow. So we've got our research, our personas, our user journey. We know our user is a busy freelancer who just wants to create and send an invoice fast without thinking about it. Now let's design the UI. And I'm going to execute our UI design right here in Claude Code. This workflow has nothing to do with Figma, although the last workflow I'm going to show you does involve Figma. So if that's still in your toolkit, stick around for that. First off, we're going to rely on the front-end design Claude skill, which will instruct Claude on how to design like a real designer. If you haven't seen my skills video series, I'll link it below, but basically a skill is a set of instructions that primes Claude to produce significantly better design output. Think of it as giving Claude a designer's eye before it starts building. If you don't have that skill yet, I'll leave a link to it in the description. So I'm going to reference that skill using a / command. And then I'm going to paste in this really thorough prompt that explains exactly what I want for my UI design. I want a clean, minimal SaaS aesthetic. Think apps like Linear, Vercel, Notion. Use dark mode, focus on good typography, leave generous white space, and a bunch of other guidelines that give Claude a better idea of what I want out of this UI. So now we've referenced our front-end design skill and a super thorough prompt. So now I've hit prompt and Claude Code is currently generating our UI. Keep in mind that for this UI design workflow, we're only focusing on designing one screen, not a full prototype. This will let us really focus on UI design and styling, and nailing that down first before we worry about designing an entire interactive app. Okay, so now Claude has finished the first build of our UI, and it definitely followed my prompt pretty well. I mean, it looks super clean, super sleek. It's actually functional. We can add a line item. We have a nice looking hover state for the delete button, and the monospace numerical fields are a nice touch too. But since this is a web app, we have all this white space on each side of our UI. And what's pretty standard in an invoice app is showing a preview of what the invoice will actually look like. So obviously I'm just going over what's specific to my project, but I'm just sharing my initial reactions to this first build because you'll do the same for your project and you'll have to iterate on it because it's not going to be perfect. So for our next iteration, I want to make better use of all the horizontal white space. So the right half of the UI should be a preview of what the invoice will ultimately look like. And what I want to do is make this preview light mode so that we have some nice contrast between the left side and right side of our UI. So let's prompt it and see what it comes up with. So now Claude Code has come up with this next iteration. And overall, aside from some slight alignment issues, this UI is looking pretty similar to what I wanted. I like the contrast we have going on between the main part of the UI and then the invoice preview. And this UI honestly does not strike me as, oh, this was definitely AI generated. Because when you use a combination of the front-end design skill and a super in-depth prompt, it takes a lot of the guesswork out of the picture for Claude and lets it dial in the exact styling that you're after. But if you want to start off with a more basic prompt like build this UI for me, and maybe still reference the front-end design skill too, you're probably going to get something that doesn't resemble exactly what you wanted. But one of the best things about Claude Code is it makes it really easy to iterate on your designs through simple English. So even if you didn't start with a super thorough foundation, you can continue prompting it and maybe even give it some reference images to work with. So that's the UI design workflow. You use Claude Code to explore fast and get something worth reacting to. Then you can take the winner into Figma for high fidelity polish if you'd like. You're not necessarily replacing your design tool with this workflow. You're just front loading some of the biggest decisions so that you can spend your time in Figma building the right thing instead of figuring out what the right thing to build is. So now that I'm happy with this direction, it's something that I want to get feedback on from a teammate. I don't want it just living in a chat window. My preferred method for sharing media like this is send.co. It's an easy way to share almost any kind of media you create in Claude Code just by clicking install in Claude, adding a custom connector, and then hitting add. Now that I have that MCP set up, I can just tell Claude, use send.co to turn this into a shareable document. So now I have my invoice app live at this link. I can share it with anybody, and I even get insights about who's viewed it and for how long. So lately, this has been my go-to method for sharing my work. Now, we just built the invoice creation screen, and it looks great, but here's the problem. One screen isn't enough to know if the experience actually works. Does the flow make sense? What happens after the freelancer hits send invoice? Do they feel confident the invoice went through? You can't answer those questions by looking at a single screen, and that's what this next workflow is about, prototyping. For some projects, you might just be polishing a single screen, screen, but for others, you might need interactive prototypes. So now I'm going to demo that use case for this project. We need multiple screens, real navigation, real states, something I can actually hand to a user to see if the experience feels intuitive for them. I'm going to tell it the specific screens that I need. A homepage that shows my invoices with statuses for each, the invoice creation screen that we already have, an invoice sending state, and a confirmation screen. And if you think you might be missing any screens, just say include any other relevant screens for this type of app as well. So now it's come up with our prototype, including a complete flow for creating the invoice, reviewing it, sending it, we get a confirmation, and then invoice details. So whatever kind of project you're working on, you can prompt Claude to do a lot more than just give you the screens that you explicitly asked for. Especially with whatever context you give Claude in the beginning, it's going to have a good understanding of what kind of app you're building and what all the essential screens in the prototype would be. So if I view it in browser, I can see it's created a homepage for us with these invoice filtering tabs that actually work, all with placeholder data, of course. We have a clients page and we can see all the content is animating in super smoothly. Settings, and then let's try out the new invoice flow. I'll enter some placeholder data. Now when we hit send invoice, I get to review exactly what it'll look like, continue to send, enter my client's details, send invoice, we have the sending state, and then we have that awesome confirmation state. And I can view the invoice details for the one I just created, and Claude Code is still following all the styling guidelines that I gave it in the first place. So even if you're just creating a prototype, I highly recommend you give it some guidance about how you want it to look. It's also worth noting that you really don't need to be using Opus 4.6 for this workflow, which is Claude's most powerful model. You could honestly work faster and use less tokens by using Sonnet 4.6 or even Haiku 4.5. Now at this point too, I want to get feedback, and not just through sending somebody a Slack message about what this is. I want them to actually click through it. So again, I'm going to tell Claude to publish it using send.co. So now just like that, in less than a minute, I've shared not only our UI generation, but also our full prototype using send.co. So this is just to show you that you're not limited to single screens or documents like PDFs. You can also upload prototypes like this to get feedback from anybody, with some cool additional features like requiring certain information to view it, and replacing the file entirely, adding a thumbnail, and much more. That's the difference between a prototype that lives in your design tool and one that people get to actually experience. Now this next workflow is for generating design systems. And here's where this whole session starts to compound, because we've now got over 4 screens of real UI, and the previous workflows had nothing to do with design systems. We were just trying to solve a problem. But look what we have: consistent typography, a color palette, spacing patterns, interactive states, component decisions that we made along the way. This is basically what you would produce using a design system, but the difference is we don't have that design system yet. So instead of starting a design system from scratch, which is how many designers would approach a project, I'm going to have Claude build one from the work we've already done so far. So with our working directory selected so that Claude has context, I'll say based on this app, extract and document a full design system. I need a color palette, typographic scale, spacing scale, component library, and for this one, document each one with its variants and states. And lastly, usage rules for each component. So this is one of those parts of the design process that AI was honestly bound to handle for us at some point. It was just a matter of when. And this workflow will save you a ton of time if you document or maintain design systems in any kind of way. This method is also super useful if you want to share your design system specs with anybody else like developers or PMs. So here's what comes back: a full color palette with semantic labels, a typography scale, guidelines for the animation and motion design it's come up with, and a full component library consisting of all our different types of buttons, badges, summary cards, search inputs, filter tabs, everything that's in our app so far. It's documented as an MD file so that Claude can reference it every time you want to build something new. So now the screens that we have so far and this documentation is in sync. And this design system.md file is now yet another piece of context that Claude has in our project directory. So ultimately, if you want to build a really mature, solidified app, or honestly any kind of Claude Code project, having all these thorough context files is actually really important to reduce the amount of time of you going back and forth with Claude, trying to get exactly what you want. Now, last step, I want this design system to be usable by someone who wasn't in the session, a developer, a new designer, or any other kind of stakeholder on my team. Now with this design system doc, I can tell Claude, again, use send.co to publish our design system as a hosted document. Now here's what I love Claude Code has done without me even asking. The design system document is styled using our actual design system tokens. So instead of just being a bunch of lines of text in a markdown file, we have our full design system styled as a beautiful document live for anybody else to see. And if you're not experienced with design systems, they're really useful for taking the guesswork out of how your app should look, feel, and function. And ultimately will save you a lot of time and Claude Code a lot of tokens throughout your design process. When I update the system, I update the doc, and the link stays the same. That makes it a design system that actually gets used, not one that dies off. So now it's time for the last workflow, and this one is very closely tied to the design systems workflow that I just showed you. We went from a product idea to research synthesis to a UI to a clickable prototype, and then to a documented design system, all using Claude Code. But here's the problem. Your design system living as a document is one thing. Your design system living inside Figma as actual components, actual styles, actual variables your whole team can use, that's a lot better. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to take the design system that Claude built and have it build the design system directly inside Figma without any manual designing or component setups. Claude is going to do all of that for us. So some quick context about how this is going to work. We're going to be using the Figma MCP. And if you didn't hear, it just got a huge update that lets Claude Code design in Figma for you. It doesn't just have Claude generate assets that you paste into Figma, it operates directly inside your Figma file, reading it, writing to it, and building in it. So inside the Customize page in Claude Code, go to Connectors, add a new connector, and add this Figma one right here that says interactive. Now, since we have that MCP set up and Claude Code already understands our design system, we're gonna make this Figma design system happen in one prompt. Build our design system in Figma as a new file, including everything that you've documented in the design system MD file already. Like I said, because Claude Code already has all the context it needs, we can leave our prompt fairly simple and open-ended, and Claude will do its thing. We can see it's now starting to build out the entire design system in Figma using the plugin API, which is basically referring to the MCP that you just set up. So now Claude has finished generating our entire Figma design system, so let's go check it out. We got a cover page, our color palette, and this is all laid out super nicely. I like how this is looking. Typography, and it looks like this is accurate, but we can see here this JetBrains mono text is not actually taking that monospaced font, it's just using enter, even though I have that JetBrains mono font installed, so this is something I'll have to tell Claude to iterate on. We got all of our spacing values set up, and this is the most impressive part, all of the components we've used in our app so far, they exist here now. It's not perfect, there's clearly some spacing issues with these badges, and Claude didn't use that correct monospaced font in the components themselves. And now if I go over to my layers, I can see that not only did it not use any sort of naming convention for our layers, it's all just frames, it also hasn't even used auto layout, which is obviously unacceptable for a Figma design system. Looking through the rest of our design system, it included guidelines for motion and animation, which is a nice touch because design systems don't often include that level of specificity, and some design principles which are honestly pretty generic and don't really contribute much value to this design system. It would be nicer if it actually gave some guidelines about how each type of component should be used. But let's just tell Claude Code the two most important things for this design system. Name all of our layers properly, and this is the biggest one, use auto layout for all components. So just like your UI UX design process otherwise, Claude is not going to give you a perfect output on the first try, and you're also going to have to apply that refinement and iteration process in this workflow. Side note, I'm going to go much more in depth with a future upload about how to use the Figma MCP to its full capabilities, because the latest version of the Figma MCP is honestly crazy. Like, our entire design process used to be so manual, and now the fact that you can prompt Claude to basically be your full-time Figma designer for you is something I don't think any of us expected a few years ago. Alright, so as you can see, all the layers in our components page have been properly named based on what component they are, and they all have auto layout properly applied, so that the layers inside them aren't just position absolute, basically. So this is honestly my favorite use case right now, using the Figma MCP to have Claude design for me. So look forward to a more in-depth workflow on that, if Figma is still in your workflow, but you want to figure out how to use AI to design faster. So those were 5 Claude Code workflows for designers: UX planning and research, UI generation with skills, interactive prototypes shared with send.co, design system documentation, and designing automatically directly in Figma using their MCP. Each one of these can instantly be adopted into your workflow today. And if you're anything like me, you'll start using one and within a week you'll realize it's completely changed how you work. If you want to strengthen your Claude Code workflow as a designer even further, I've got a full video on that on screen right now, so go check it out. I'll see you guys there, and as always, subscribe to become a better designer.